Again, it's a rich thing.
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Python tutorial series for advanced programmers. In today's video, we're going to talk about decorators, so let us get right into it. Alright, so the basic idea behind decorators is that they add a certain functionality to a function, or they surround the function, they wrap the function with an additional functionality. And I'm going to show you that by using just a function in a function first, and then I'm going to show you how it's actually done in Python. So let's say we have a function which is called, I don't know, myDecorator. And this myDecorator function is used to decorate other functions. So what we do is we pass a function. We say myDecorator, we give to that function another function, and then inside of that decorator, we specify a so-called wrapper function. So we have this wrapper function here, and what this function does is it has some functionality and then it calls the function. So let's say here, we're just going to print a message like, I am decorating your function, like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to call the function. Now, the interesting part here is now we're not just executing this, we're actually returning the wrapper function. So as a result of that, we're not just calling the decorator and passing the function and then we have the decorated output. We're actually returning another function that calls the initial function, but with decorated code, with additional code. So how would we do that? We would essentially say, let's say we have something like hello world here, and we just print hello world like that. Now this hello world function, we want to decorate it. So what we can do here is we can say myDecorator, and we can pass hello world without calling it. We're just passing it as a reference. And what we get here when we execute that function is a return value. Now, of course, we can save that return value first into a function or something, but we can also directly call it if we want to, like that. So essentially what we're doing here is we're calling this myDecorator, we're passing the hello world function, and what we get as a result is the wrapper function that has the additional functionality and also is executing the initial function, and then we call this function that we get as a return value. So what we're going to do now is we're going to execute this by just saying Python main p1. You can see I am decorating your function hello world. Now, of course, we can also swap these positions here by just saying we're going to have the function first and then we're going to still decorate it. This is also a possibility. So in this case, we would have hello world first and then I'm decorating your function. So this is also a possibility. This is the basic idea behind decorators, but this is not how it's done in Python. Now, when I say this is not how you do it in Python, I don't mean the whole thing here. I mean this particular line of code. We're not calling the function, passing the function, and then calling the result. There's a more elegant way in Python, and this is just using annotations. So we can actually delete this line here, and on top of this function, I can just say @myDecorator. So by doing that, I'm decorating hello world with the function of myDecorator. So this structure here is the same, but now instead of passing it and calling it or calling the wrapper result, we're just saying, okay, @myDecorator, and then we can actually call hello world itself, and it's already decorated. So this is enough, as you can see. As you can see, we're already getting the hint that this is the actual wrapper function. So if I run this right now, we get the same result. So we see hello world, I'm decorating your function. Again, we can also change this by swapping the order. And you can see that the order is swapped. So this is the exact same thing, but we have some limitations here. Now, they're not real limitations because we can easily fix them, but right now, the way we have it right now, it doesn't work perfectly. For example, if I have some parameters here, it doesn't work because the wrapper doesn't have the same parameters. So if I have hello world, or let's just say hello, I don't know, person. We need to say hello to a specific person, and what we want to do is we want to say hello and then the person's name, like that. A very simple function still, but we cannot just decorate it like that because the wrapper here doesn't have that function. So if I say hello Mike, and I'm trying to execute this right now, you're going to see that we get a type error because the wrapper doesn't take positional arguments, but we give one to it. Because hello takes arguments, but the decorator, the wrapper function here, does not take arguments. Now, we could easily fix that by just adding an argument here, But the point is that a decorator is not necessarily just for one function. If I have a decorator that decorates multiple different functions, we don't want it to be limited to one specific signature. We don't just want to say this decorator is specifically for the function hello, because then I could just add the code of the decorator to the function hello. We want this decorator to be universally applicable, and because of that, we have to add the args and quarks keywords here, so arguments and keyword arguments. I mean, we don't need to add the keyword arguments necessarily, but if you do it like that, you're on the safe side, because whatever we pass here, we can also pass here by simply passing exactly that. So this is a safe thing here, because obviously if I pass any arguments by doing that, by calling the function here Mike, I'm passing it to the arguments, and I'm passing the exact same arguments to the function. So essentially I'm just passing it right to hello again. So it's not a big deal. And if I do it like that, you're going to see that it's going to work. I say hello Mike. However, we now have another problem. Let's say it's not print, but it's return. I want to return a string. If I want to return a string, here I say return. I'm not going to return it by just calling it. I need to get the return value from the wrapper as well. And what we need to do here essentially to make this work is we need to return the value of the wrapper. So we need to say, actually we need to just say, come on, return function. So we can just return the function and then it's the same thing, but we're going to see that this has another problem here as well. Let's just see first of all if it works. I mean, we would probably have to print the result then. Print. There you go. I am decorating your function, hello Mike, so it works. But what if I want to have that print afterwards? So if I want to have it like that, if I want to first return the value or first execute the function, I'm not going to first return the value, that's not possible. But if I first want to execute the function and then want to print or do the wrapper stuff, it doesn't have to be a print, it can be whatever you want it to be. But I want to execute the decorating functionality afterwards, after the function call, but I still want to have the return value, I cannot do it like that. What I need to do then is I need to execute the function call. I need to store it in a variable. So for example, return value is going to be whatever the function returns to us. And then we're going to say return after we did the code, return the return value. Like that. And then it would also work like that. And actually, did it work the way we wanted it to work? I'm not sure. Because actually we would want to have hello Mike first. Oh, obviously that's not possible in this particular case because we're returning and we're printing down here. But if I would have something like print and return, so if we would have something like print, the same string, hello Mike, actually not Mike, person. If we would do it like that, we would see a difference here because if I do it now, we get hello Mike. I'm decorating a function, hello Mike. And if I'm not doing it like that, if I'm directly returning, or if I'm doing it like that, I'm going to first get I'm decorating your function, then 2 times hello Mike, as you can see. Now let's go ahead and look at 2 very simple practical applications, because up until now this was quite abstract. So let's actually go ahead and delete all of this. And now what we're going to do is we're going to have the first practical example. Practical example number 1 is going to be logging. Now this is not how you would actually do logging in Python. In the intermediate tutorial series, we already talked about the logging module and so on. But for the sake of simplicity, I'm just going to open up a file and write to it in a very simple way. I'm not going to use the logging module here. But we're going to see why maybe using decorators here might be a little bit more comfortable than actually logging every time in a manual manner. So let's say we have this function or decorator locked. We're just going to call it locked. We add a function or pass a function to it. And what we do then is we have the wrapper function, def wrapper, and we pass arguments and keyword arguments so that it's definitely working. And then what we're going to do is we're going to say value or return value, whatever, is just the function called on the arguments, on the keyword arguments, so that it's compatible with all different types of functions. And now we can decorate actually. So now we can go ahead and log whatever is happening. And we can do this by saying with open log file.txt in appending plus as f. And what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to say, let's first of all get some values here. So let's say fname equals function dot underscore underscore name underscore underscore, and this would give us the function name. And then we can say f dot write, and we can formulate an f string here. We can say function name returned value like that. And of course we can also use the same thing to print this, so we don't need to necessarily just write it into the file. We can also say print, and we can print the same thing here like that. So what we do after that, of course, is in case there's a return value, we're going to return it. Otherwise, we're going to just return none or anything like that. And then we're going to say return the wrapper here, and we're done with the decorator. And now I can have a very simple function here. First of all, do I have any errors here? No, I don't have any errors. So let's say we have a function add, and we have just x and y here. And what we're doing is we're just returning x plus y, a very simple function here. And now I can first of all show you what happens without the decorator. So we're just going to say print at 10 plus 20 in a very simple way here. So first of all, we have an invalid syntax. Oh, obviously, because we have 1 star for the args and 2 for the keyword args. So this should work. Yeah, there you go. You get 30 as a result. And now we're going to add the locked decorator here. So we're going to say add locked. And we're going to see that there's a difference here. And you can see add returned value 30. And we should also be able to see it here. So let's open this in split mode here. And you can see add returned value 30. And of course, if I go ahead now and execute this again and again and again and again, probably we need to close this and open this up again. But you can see, oh, maybe we should add a new line here as well. So we should say \n in the end so that we always log in a new line. And you can do whatever you want here. You can also use the actual logging module. You can use the timestamp and so on. But this is one practical example of why decorators might be useful. So let us look at a second example here, and this example is going to be timing. So let's say you have a function, you want to know how long it took to execute. So we're going to have the second practical example here. Practical example 2 is going to be timing functions. So for this, we're going to import time, and we're going to have the decorator called time timed like that. We're going to pass a function here. We're going to have the wrapper here. And this wrapper, what it's going to do, again, it's going to take arguments, going to take keyword arguments, and we're going to basically do the same thing. But before we do anything, we're going to have the first timestamp. So we're going to say, okay, before equals time.time. So we're getting the current time right now, and then we're starting with the whole execution. So we say value equals function on the args and keyword args like that. And then we say after equals time.time. So what we're doing is the whole function call, the actual function call of the past function, is happening in this particular line. And before that line and after that line, we have a timestamp. So we can now go ahead and calculate the difference. So we can say, okay, print, I don't know, let's say, actually, we can get the file name as well here. So let's say fname equals, not file name, function name, sorry. Function dot underscore underscore name. And we can say, I don't know, fname took. And now we say just after minus before seconds to execute. Like that. And we can now go ahead and do, I don't know what, we can just define a random function, my function here. And the only thing that this function is going to do, it's going to have a result starting at 1, and then we're going to say for x, or actually not x, maybe let's say for I in range x, we're going to say result times equals I. It's a very simple thing, and then we can return that result, return result. And the basic idea here is that we just want to have something that takes some time to be calculated. Do I have a problem there? Oh yeah, I need to return the wrapper. I'm not sure if that's the problem though. Yeah, seems to be the problem. And then what I'm doing here is I'm just saying, oh, and we need the value as well. Actually, we don't need the value. We can just call the function here. So I guess I can get rid of that. Yeah, like that. So we can just call the function here in this case, unless we're returning something. Actually, maybe we should return it though. Yeah, let's do a return here. So let's say value equals that, and then after the print, we're just going to return the value like that. And then we're going to add the tag here. But first of all, again, let's just see what happens if we just say print my function 10,000. Let's go for 100,000. Let's see if this kind of works. Here we get 0. Why do we get 0? We have, oh, because we start at 0. That's not good. Let's do it like that. And it takes some time, maybe takes too much time. So let's go with 1 less 0 here. And you can get a result here. So if I now go ahead and time this, we're going to get a timing as well. So we're going to get timed here. And I think the message somewhere up there. Maybe we should not print it. Maybe we should just execute it without the print. So let's get rid of that and let's get rid of that so that we only see the execution time. You can see it took 0.025 seconds. Now, if I change this to a 9 here, maybe it's going to take longer. So hopefully not too long. Yeah, there you go. 5.6 seconds to execute. So this is one other practical example. You could just go ahead and have this time decorator whenever you want to know how fast the function executes, and maybe some other values as well. You can just add times above it, and then you have the execution time. So that's it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. If so, let me know by hitting a like button and leaving a comment in the comment section down below. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell to not miss a single future video for free. Other than that, thank you very much for watching. See you in the next video, and bye.